Hello, hello. Welcome to Party Wipe, episode 1. Beginning on a beautiful Saturday. Got Rob309 in the house. Thank you for the follow, Rob. Really appreciate you. Lost Sleep Games. Rima's, good to see you. Hello, hello, and welcome to a new series in which we make a roguelike, fantasy roguelike deck builder, where you draft a party of adventurers to quest for gold and glory. Pretty great timing with the music there. Hello, hello. Welcome in. I even set up a new desktop background for the occasion. Based on the classic "You Died" screen, I was like, you know what I could do? I could do like a "You Died" screen with Party Wipe. And so I did. Just to make it easier for myself, just to hide away my last desktop screen and to fully consecrate myself towards this new purpose here. Anyone watching the VODs? Hi. I hope you caught us live or something many episodes from now and you were like, wow, this looks so cool. Let me see how it began. And let me tell you, it began the way many things do. A lot of uncertainty, much confusion, trepidation, dare I say, and a heaping spoonful of hope. And yeah, I guess we could go a little backwards. At the beginning of this week, I was working day to day, grinding out some pixel art for a game that was going to take way too long and require way too much content creation from me. You know, a dream game, one of many dream games. And someone kind of opened my eyes to a different way of making games, a scrappy way, a ruthless way, a fast way. And that's what we're going to be trying to do in this series. We're going to try to make a game, Party Wipe, a fantasy roguelike deck builder, where you draft a party of adventurers, search for glory and gold. And we're going to try to do it in like 6 months. I think you heard it here first. We are going to submit this game to the February Next Fest. It is almost June. So we have about 6-7 months. I'm giving myself a little bit of an extra buffer because shit is going to happen. Life is going to come up. It's hard to plan things out that far, but we are committed. We are going to basically treat this like it's a 6-month game jam. We are going to be ruthless. We are going to be resourceful. Let's do it. Let's go, Rimas. We are going to try to embody the attitude of a game jammer. We are going to be decisive. We are going to go with our gut. We are not going to approach this like a dream game. We're not going to approach this like we take our time, we do it right. No. We're going to be aggressive. Be aggressive. And yeah, we're going to begin at the beginning. So we're going to open Godot and create a project folder. Truly, to begin at the beginning. Party Wipe. All right, we're not going to make this in the OneDrive folder, Godot. I think we'll be fine in compatibility mode. Someday we might reach a level of post-processing where we care, but I think for now, I would like to get a web build out of this soon, so compatibility mode is good. I think that's it. We have a path, we have a folder. All right, we're going to change the radio. I was torn about whether we should play like some epic radio, but I think we're going to play our usual. Because we are also still, as we've always been, a chill co-working stream. All right, let's open the project settings. We are going to this is version 0. We're going to set up our usual pixel art stuff. I actually don't know what resolution we're going to use here. My suspicion is we'll do 640 by 360, but we're using such a small, we're using 16 by 16 sprites. So we might actually go 180p. But we could also render the sprites at double size, and that gives us some flexibility with the cards and stuff. So I'm going to start out, we're going to start with a 640 by 360. Set up our pixel perfect viewport stretching. And then I think the only other thing we need to do is set the default texture import to nearest. I think that's it in terms of obligatory pixel art settings. Well, project description, you've never set one of those. I know, me either. But I figured I might as well. All right, that's the wrong tab. This is a 2D game. This is going to be a 2D game, a grid-based game. We've done some ideating on what we want to do. We've done some ideating. The series that just preceded this was a little series I called Finding the Fun. We were trying to think of some prototypes that fit all of the requirements of a good game here, which is a game that can be fun and have appeal and that can be made within our scope. And I think we've got it. I think we've got something. Now we just need to work it out. We do still need to find the fun, but rather than continue this series, I figured we would dive in to Party Wipe. Which is going to be, I've already said the tagline so many times, so I'm just going to go into a little more detail of a game where you draw cards, deck builder, of units, items, spells, which you deploy to a grid like in an auto battler. Combat plays out by initiative with the outcome apparent during the preparation phase of each round. So it's going to be like at the beginning of combat, you'll draw. A round will be like every character on the battlefield goes through a move. That will constitute one round, and you'll go through successive rounds of combat until all of the enemies are dead, or until you party wipe. And then you try it again. This game is going to be hard. This game is going to be minimal. This game is going to... I want to evoke, like, classic D&D, like, advanced D&D, like most of your characters die before they reach level 5 D&D. I think that's a strong memory to evoke, especially for old heads. But I think everyone gets it. I think everyone gets it in like a Souls-like world that we live in. The only thing I'm concerned with this kind of a presentation is that people think I'm making a Souls-like. But, you know, maybe it kind of is. It is going to be a proper roguelike. It's going to be a proper roguelike. Not this like your power level keeps increasing every time you play until you just inevitably eventually win. No. We are gonna approach it a different way. We're gonna really lean into the card drafting part. So I'm thinking of stuff where it's like at the beginning of a run, maybe you pick 1 or 2 or maybe 3. You pick a couple of starter packs, which are going to be like reliable packs of cards where you're like, but like mostly reliable. Maybe there will be a little bit of wiggle room in there, but it'll be like, oh, I want to use the archer pack, which comes with some archer cards, some bows, maybe some like trick arrows, something like that. And you're like, let's also grab a warrior starter pack. And that comes with like some warriors, maybe some axes or swords or shields, maybe a great weapon. Maybe there's some variety in there in that you're like, you're guaranteed to get this set of types, but like maybe there's some flexibility in there. And then during a run, you can open additional booster packs. And the booster packs will be like more random where you're like, ooh, a plague doctor booster pack. I wonder what that's got. Maybe it's got like potions and some plague doctors and some spells. Like trying to mess around with that. Sapphire, you would have been here sooner. You had to do a quick bit of yard work after your stream. No worries. Yeah, I saw you were streaming this morning. How'd that go? Welcome to episode 1 of Party Wipe here. So you would be gaining more cards throughout a run, but I think we're going to do kind of an auto battler thing where it's like, let's say you've deployed a level 1 swordsman. Let's say you then draw another level 1 swordsman. It's like, well, you could deploy another level 1 swordsman, or you could deploy that card on top of your existing swordsman, giving them like an XP boost towards their next level. Maybe they also get XP when they get kills and stuff. And so if you finish combat, meaning that swordsman doesn't die before the end of combat, then at the end of combat, that swordsman will come back. Let's say it reaches level 2, because you've like stacked 2. Let's say you've stacked 3 level 1 swordsman cards on him, and he didn't get any kills. Instead of 3 level 1 swordsman cards coming back into your deck, you'd get 1 level 2 swordsman. I think you can see how that goes. So you're like thinning out the deck as you like turn your units and your items and your spells into higher level versions. And then you're adding cards to it by drafting these boosters. And I see something in my mind's eye that sounds cool when I say it. But we still do need to find the fun. We still do need to pursue this and try to find something that's fun. Because what I haven't figured out is like how I want to actively resolve combat. It's like, do you want it to be automatic? Do you want it to be like you can select whether you use one of your equipped items? Do you move around? Is it like into the breach combat? I think it probably is going to be close to into the breach combat, but with like an initiative timer, timeline. It can be something like if I had to just throw something out there, I think it would be more like that. Because you will need to do some things in between rounds of combat. If you only draw cards in between rounds of combat, then you need to do stuff for each unit action throughout the round of combat. And from a D&D standpoint, it makes sense that you'd be like, oh, I'm going to move my guy, and then he'll use his action to attack with his axe this guy. So maybe we're going to end up doing a little mini D&D little tabletop combat resolution thing. I say little. That has a recipe for getting large, but you're not doing too bad, Sapphire. You streamed for about an hour, 20 minutes. You actually you achieved your goal for the stream? Hell yeah. You opened up Godot. You made an extremely basic pill. Little first-person shooter character controller with movement and mouse looking. Nice. You had your first spam bot. That's a great moment. LSG, maybe new cards levels can be somehow based on the level of that card you already have in your deck. Thinking like strong warriors will attract other strong warriors. I think that'll be like a rarity thing. So like maybe you treat it as card rarities, where like level 1 is common, level 2 is like rare, level 3 is like epic or something. Something like that. I think I could see that. I think I could see you having a chance of opening higher level cards. Yeah. Something like that. So you could get lucky and draft high level stuff. You could play smartly and level things up during combat. And you'll have to make trade-offs of like, oh, do I do this greedily and risk a party wipe? Or do I play conservatively and level up my cards a little inefficiently? Like, I can see a lot of trade-offs being made throughout the decision-making process in this game, and that's what you want to see. That's what you want in a systematic game like this, is you want a large complexity space that arises out of a simple number of interacting parts. And you know what? I think that's what we're gonna have. And I'm very excited. I'm very excited to get going on this. Sapphire, you had your first chatter that was someone you didn't recognize either. They helped you figure out the mouse-looking side of things. Yeah, that's great. That's great. You'll find there are people that specifically go and search out small streamers, and then you'll never see that person again as soon as you get like a regular following. But it's really sweet. There's some really sweet people in Twitch. That do that sort of thing. But I hope everyone's having a nice Saturday here. I had a big breakfast. I had too much coffee. Feeling good, feeling ready to go here. We'll probably waffle around a lot at the beginning, but we're just going to try to make some gains, get some stuff done. I need to figure out, I think I'm just going to look for an asset or a plugin that can handle the card part of this. I'm pretty confident about setting up the grid stuff of a grid-based, like little roguelike deck builder kind of thing. But I'm not confident about the card part. So I think what we're going to do is we're probably going to import our sprite resources, and then we might go shopping for deck builder assets. Because we're going to make this game mostly out of assets. We're going to do a lot of post-processing and stuff to like juice it up and make it cohesive and everything. But part of the point of this game is to do something quickly, focus on the loops, on the gameplay, and kind of just try to get out of my own way. Try to get out of the dream game preference of I build everything from scratch, I build everything by myself, I build everything the right way. We are not looking for the right way. We are looking for the fast way. And you know, if we accrue some tech debt that we need to deal with later, that's great, because that means we have something with legs and we're going to keep working on it. If it doesn't work out, you know, if we party wipe and there's actually nothing here, that's it. That's fine. We'll go back, come up with something else. But we're gonna try to do, I think, a sprint here where we really try to establish this thing over the next few weeks, up to 6 weeks maybe. I know this isn't exactly what I said I was gonna do originally, but I really am excited about this idea. I didn't think I was gonna be this excited about an idea this quickly. I've been racking my brain over an idea for a while now. LSG, you feel bad. You got a raid. You got a Boolean raid the other day. You totally forgot to keep the raid trade going. You've never entered stream with more than 2 viewers before, so you didn't even think of that. Yeah. I tend to only raid out if someone raids in, or I have an inordinate number of viewers. Yeah, I think keeping the raid train going is a good thing to keep in mind. But yeah, I don't raid out every time either. I get too tired sometimes, and I just want to turn the stream off. Sapphire, you're trying to decide how much you also want to stream gaming as well. You're planning on trying out 007 First Light. Probably not on stream for that, but you do want to do some gaming on stream as well. Okay, here's my advice for doing that. Sapphire, because I know you're multi-streaming to YouTube, Make a different account for that. Do not do that on your dev account because YouTube will get confused and it will not like it. So either don't bother with the multi-stream, or like when you're doing that, like do it Twitch only or something like that, or have a different account for gaming. That's my advice. As someone who has attempted to do that a few times, it is not good. The algorithm is not pleased. Hey, VoidBlit. Hello, party wipers. I guess that's what we're called now. Wipers, no wiping. God, it's gonna get weird, but welcome. Welcome in, VoidBlit. Thanks for being here. On episode 1, a new series here. We're gonna go all in on this new idea. Let's see what we can get. See what we can do. Yeah, you need a plan for the channel. How's it going, VoidBlit? Happy Saturday. Hope you're having a good weekend. We're working out some of the initial stuff of our party wipe. We're taking our time here. Make a scene. Do the thing I always do. Well, do I want to call it game or do I want to call it node or main? I like main. I end up putting too much logic in the main scene. I'm gonna try to not do that. We're gonna not get too carried away with like code architecture and stuff, but sprites. Go with sprite singular. I might do sprites plural. I don't know. I'm already agonizing over decisions. We're gonna open this folder and we are going to transfer the pixel art that we are going to use here. We're going to add a folder, a subfolder. It's going to be called the pixel. Is that what it's called? Pixie-like? Pixie-like 2. Is that what this pack is called? This pack is really good. I'm very excited about this. It's very, he is coming. Oh yeah, it is Pixie-like. Pixie-like 2. I think it's going to be very good for us. We'll probably do a bunch of recoloring because we're going to need to make different levels for these different things. And I think the only way we're going to be able to communicate that is with like palette swapping stuff. We might eventually start to mix in our own assets, but our own art or other assets, but we're going to try to keep it cohesive. But there's a lot of stuff in here that's going to be great for our roguelike deck builder, including 100+ characters, 500+ items, 300+ spell and skill icons, and 40+ environmental assets. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. None of it animated, so it's gonna be that like little juke movement thing we're gonna do. But there's gonna be a lot of items. We'll have to figure out our UI. This dithering is interesting. I wonder what's causing this dithering. I'd be surprised if that kind of an asset is included, but that'd be quite cool if it is. But yeah, we're excited. We're excited to start doing this. This is a good set of stuff here. We're gonna have a lot of different locations. We'll have a lot of different enemy types that can be vulnerable to different things, resistant to different things. There's a lot of civilians, which is great. So we can have like we can have a lot of points of interest. We can have like quest givers. We can have like a lot of NPCs that come and go. There's some wild stuff in here. I don't even understand what all of this stuff is, but There's gonna be good. There's gonna be some good stuff. Good stuff here. Yeah. Look at all these. Look at all these units. These are all the different classes we can have. How awesome is that? And we could start. You could start the game, and maybe you only have access to like this set or something like that, like the core. And then you could, that'll probably be the meta progression, is you'll probably unlock the ability on playthroughs to unlock new unit types. So even in the demo, you'll be able to play through the whole game. It'll just be like, okay, you beat the game once. Now you can play the Necromancer and the Paladin and the Thief. And like maybe you can play at a higher difficulty now or something. Like, we'll do something like that. There's going to be there's a lot of room here, a lot of opportunity. There's also a lot of enemies. I'm very excited about this asset pack. I think it's going to be very good for us. Very excited. So many different kinds of weapons that can have different stats. Incredible. Very, very happy. Pixie-like 2 is what we're going to call this. And we will unload all of these files into here. All right, that is being copied. That is a lot of files. Might need to consolidate some of these. These are all individual. These are all individual sprites. I might need to put these in an atlas. That will not be fun. But I might need to do that because we're already at 1,300 individual files, which is like a lot for a web build. You gonna go lay down a minute? Yeah, no, take it easy. Oh, enjoy your 007 here. LSG, you spent like $30 on some sweet PSX asset packs yesterday. You told me yourself you'd allow the scope creep of adding 3D. You have to use assets where you can. So far, you've only had to hand model the breaker panel. Nice, nice. I did see there's some really cool PSX items like that, like electronics. It's called like PSX tech or something. I saw that on Itch. You might like that. But probably already have that. Reminds you a tiny bit of Caves of Cud, the terrain at least. Yeah, it's giving a bit of Caves of Cud. It's also giving, to me, it gives a lot of He Is Coming, which is a newer game. So crazy this is described as a survival game by Google. But yeah, this is a good one made by I believe it's made by the Loop Hero devs. This was a big inspiration for me. It's the monocolored background. They're doing some like phosphor stuff, which is cute, which we might or might not do. But theirs is more of like this RPG auto battler thing, and I'm trying to do more of a party RPG deck builder kind of thing. I don't think we're gonna have an open. This is very Caves of Cud to me, the open world stuff. We're gonna probably do a node-based progression thing. And everything is probably going to be the same size. So it's not going to, I don't think we're going to have these great, cool boss stuff. But the aesthetic of like this very minimal, solid color background, roguelike stuff. Yeah. Caves of Cud, He Is Coming. There's a few others I'm thinking of. These games are fairly beloved. So I think it's a strong aesthetic. Maybe you could have combo classes. Maybe. A shiny version is a good idea, maybe, for the ultra rare. All right, I'm going to set the clear color to black. I think eventually we'll need to pick some kind of color that's not quite black. We'll probably repaletize a lot of these assets. Probably, maybe not. It might expand it rather than replace it, but where's the environment thing here? Yeah, so the clear, our default clear is just going to be black. We'll start with that, and if we come up with like an off black color eventually, great. But we're not going to start with that. Special versions with laminated shines on them. That could be cool. That could be cool, Void Blit. Yeah, we're really, with this game, we're really trying to do like more of a simple baseline that we can expand upon, rather than the thing that I always do, which is to make this huge strategy game that doesn't work at all until every single system is built. I'm going to try to be a little more start simple and then build it up and out, but it's good to have all of these ideas popping around, bouncing around in the brain pan. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to potentially... Oh, it is nice getting to see them like this. Oh, I'm getting a preview image. That is nice. I've not seen that before. Okay, that's a strong reason to have these be different files, but... I feel like Itch has a file count limit for a web upload. Itch. It might be like 10,000 though, which is probably fine. I've run into that problem before. Itch web upload limits. What are the limits? The 500 megabyte limit, I understand. Zip cannot contain more than 1,000 individual files. So yeah, I'm gonna have to rebuild this. Rebuild these as sprite sheets. That is gonna kind of suck. But I'll probably rather do that early than later. Because yeah, we need to get this down. Yeah, this organization is not going to be, it's not gonna work for us. Because the initial prototype at least needs to be a web build. I'm gonna have to make I'm gonna have to make sprite sheets of varying things. This looks great though. There's so many versions of all these things. That's gonna be awesome. I'll do that later today. I'm not gonna bore anyone fucking building sprite sheets on screen. Hopefully. Strong hopefully. Hey Rhiannon. You just had to purge all the unused assets from your PSX packs. You're close to that limit. Yeah, it's rough. I could make a script to combine them into sprite sheets. I want to be a little more intentional in terms of the layout. I could do it that way, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think you should ever write a tool to help you do something one time, right? You should write a tool to help yourself do something many times. If you're only doing something once or twice, no tool. No tool. Many times, yes, tool. How's it going, Rhiannon? And you could argue that each one of these individual collections is a one-time thing, and what I'm actually doing is it many times, and I get it. To you, it depends on how long the one time might take. We're trying to be good. Don't encourage me, Rhiannon. You're supposed to be the voice of reason. Don't encourage me to build tools. I've had an idea. We're going to need to mock up the UI at some point, but I think I've settled on what I want the layout to be for the battle area. I think we're going to do this. Oh, you know, this might be the color I use as my off black color. I really like this color. Well, it'll still be there for me. I do really like this color. What does He Is Coming uses? It uses like a kind of almost purplish. That's kind of what I'm thinking about doing too. Oh yeah, it's a very purplish background color. I really like their UI. We'll probably have to handcraft our UI. It'll probably be 32-bit elements to fit the 16 by 16, not 32-bit, 32 by 32 elements to fit the 16 by 16 things. I like the stuff they're doing in the corners here. To figure out how we're gonna do that kind of stuff. I spent too much money on fonts. I tried a bunch of fonts. I settled on this for the "You Died" screen or whatever. You'll notice that the title, the stream title, which is this, uses like a lowercase version, but it's the same font. I like this for the "You Died," but like this is it in like lowercase. And then I tried some other fonts. They were cute. But yeah, this one, Nightwood, is very good. I like this Nightwood font. It's a nice mix. It's also, they're also 16 point characters, which is a nice parity with the sprite complexity. But yeah, I think what we're gonna do in terms of battle space is like I think we're gonna do a 8x8 is what I think we're gonna do. So like there will be like the friendly deployment area, which will be like a 4x4 on this side. And then the enemy deployment area is a 4x4 on the other side. And I think for the scale of assets we've got, this is like, all right. Something like this. So you deploy on this side, the enemy deploys on this side. Maybe you could have a door on the side and like maybe more enemies could come in during combat if you don't like end it quickly. We're gonna do a very Into the Breach style, like perfect information combat system, I think. So you can see what the outcome of the turns are in advance. Yeah, game jam attitude. We're trying to jam this out. That's the attitude we're taking. Hey, thanks for the hydrate, Nix. Day 3 for the bowling roguelike deck builder. No, we're gonna make a slightly different kind of roguelike deck builder. But who knows? Maybe we'll learn. Maybe we'll learn. Maybe this is just, maybe we're just, you know, paving the way. Maybe we're learning exactly what one would need to build a bowling roguelike deck builder. You're doing good. You're making some headway on your voxel mesher. Oh, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. But yeah, I think this asset pack will look good. Let me go through my library here. I think this will be good for our 4x4 battle area. Might even make it a little bigger. You'll notice that this room is 5x5. We need some room. You know, I'm looking at this and maybe this is going to be a 180p screen. I have a hard time believing that 360p is not too big. But maybe it is, because maybe what it is the battle screen is 180p, but it's set in, and we use the remaining 180p around the outside for like the UI, for like the card draw, for like stuff like that. Yeah, maybe it'd be cool if like these holes in the walls or like doors or whatever, if like enemies could like continue to pile in if you like don't get an early win or something. There's some cool stuff we can do here. I'm very excited. Obviously, rooms and points of interest can be bigger. We'll have some really interesting work when we start to think about like dungeon structure, stuff like that. There'll be some interesting decisions to make. Picture in picture? Yeah, we might do something like that, though. for sure. All right, we're gonna keep looking. We're gonna look a little bit more for assets. I want to look for like a what would this be called? It would be like called like a card. Card game. Let's look at the Godot store. Well, let's do a number of things. Let's look at the Godot store. The new Godot store. We'll look at the old Godot asset library. I don't want to have to come up with a whole card handling system. I could easily see myself spending like months on just card handling, getting it juicy and like getting it working right in terms of, because like the card handling is like almost 3D unless you do it very carefully with like shaders and stuff. I'll be interested to see how other people do that part. Because yeah, we are going to be ruthless. All right, here's the Godot asset store. Well, this is the news item. This is the Godot asset store. I should probably bookmark this. Ooh, I like these icons. Very cute. Ask Megacrit very nicely. Yeah, they're so nice. They'd probably be like, yeah, go off. I don't know what to look for is the only thing I'm not sure about. I don't think it's gonna be on here because this is so new. There's probably very little on here. But let's look for card. Interactive card fan. This is close. A smooth interactive card fan component for Godot 4. I don't want to just fan them though. Oh yeah, okay, so fan, mouse touch joystick selection, hover float, neighbor avoidance, card play animation, drag to reorder. That looks pretty good. From Meowjoy. Looks pretty good. Might be exactly what we want. So many AI assistants. I'm so sick of seeing it. You hate to see it. Oh, log.gd is good. I do like log.gd. I've been avoiding plugins a lot on my dream game projects because I'm like, I need to understand everything that goes into it. I need to have full control. I can't be just using a plugin that gets deprecated. But you know what? This is a jam. This is a big jam approach. There's a Slay the Spire clone tutorial on YouTube that you did that handled some card mechanics. Seems like a promising asset. Is this going to be a GD script game? Yeah, there's no reason to use C# for this. Because for A, we need a web build. And for B, we need a web build. And for C, this doesn't need to be that sharp. Oh, you know what I do want to do is I do want to add my Digital Iliad cursor. I have a really sweet cursor that I made. I don't know where that is, but I'm going to add that to the project. But yeah, interactive card fan. This looks pretty great. The thing that I'm like wondering about is how the art stuff works. Smooth interactive card fan component for Godot 4. Last updated 2 days ago. Good sign. This item uses AI. AI was used to assist with code refactoring, bug fixes, and documentation writing. Core logic and design were created by the author. I guess this is the world that we live in. We have to be super careful about that. Because if we just use something that was made with AI, I mean, I appreciate the specification, but then how do we answer later when someone's like, was AI used to make this project? It's like, kinda. I'm gonna look up card fan. And I'm gonna look up for it in assets. I don't need the layouts and stuff. I need the, like, Godot. I guess it wouldn't be in here, would it? This is going to be all assets. I need, like, the Godot. Might have to do some searching later. Why you gotta use AI to make this? I might end up just having to make my own card fanning thing, which I really don't want to do. But yeah, following the Slay the Spire tutorial might be the way. Might be the way. That hurts. That hurts. Let's look up. I wonder if this lists any similar things. No, of course it doesn't. I'm going to search card fan. I didn't want to do the card fanning thing. Didn't want to have to do it. The tutorial probably has the sample code on a GitHub. You could just yoink. Yeah, but I need to do the tutorial to, like, understand how it works. Okay, well. We're going to keep this open. We're going to go look at the older... We're going to look at the older asset library and see if there's anything in here that fits. Look up card. We'll search for card again. The card framework. There's a Godot card layout. That one doesn't look done. Yeah, there might not be a way to get around figuring this out myself, but card game framework, that's for 3. Looks like the only one being really maintained is this one. Maybe this one, simple cards. Look at these two. Lightweight, extensible toolkit for creating 2D card games in the Godot engine. Card framework provides flexible card handling and UI structures to speed up development. Use this framework as a starting point for card-based gameplay in any 2D project. This might be a good start. Just to start from, this might help a lot. .Claude. Jesus Christ. We might have to do this ourselves. Sorry for people that are offended when I say Jesus Christ. Adds a flexible card system using only control nodes. Perfect for card game UI on both 2D and 3D projects. Features drag and drop cards with animations, visual layout editor, customizable card faces, custom card containers, hands, decks, slots. You'll have to see that. Fully documented. Check the repo. This one might be it. This was updated a couple of weeks ago by TW Door. It's for 4.5. This is the tutorial you did, Rhiannon. I'll open that file up here. Recreating Slay the Spire in Godot 4 from Godot Game Lab. How long is this tutorial series? Like 7 or 8 hours? Oh, this is them doing all of Slay the Spire. Doing the whole clone. Card dragging, so intro, architecture and setup. Card dragging and state machines. Card aiming. Yeah. I mean, part of me is like, I need to know how this works. And part of me is like, I don't want to. So you have a card resource that I would build out of my whatever. Create a card layout. No dot cloud or dot cursor. It's good. It's a good start. It's very comprehensive. Yeah, I might noodle around with it. But I think it's the sort of thing where it's like we should just start using whatever we can get. And then if we need to replace it over time, we can do that. So I'm tempted to start with this one because it doesn't look like it was made with AI. There's no real way to know for sure, but it's a good start. The fact that they don't have any of the fingerprints of like an AI workflow. They have some good examples. Oh, they have like even a Balatro example, which applies modifiers to cards. Super cool. This looks pretty slick. Because, yeah, maybe... I actually don't know if I want you to be able to combine cards in your hand. Because the thing is, you could just combine them in your hand, not play them, and then discard them back in. So I don't think I want that per se, but I guess you do want this multiple selection thing in case you have something that's like discard. Yeah, I think we start with what we can get. We start with what we can get our hands on. This is a whole ass project file though, including its own add-ons folder. It's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, I don't want to get caught spending like 2 months making a card thing. I guess I'll look at the tutorial and see how long I think it would take to do that. But I think we should probably just plan to use this. This seems good. What is this one? This is the Claude one. Yeah, no. This is simple cards. It's got custom card containers. It's got visual layout editor, customizable card faces. Customizable card faces thing is interesting. Drag and drop cards with animations. Yeah, I think we just got to go with it. Makes you want to spend your day off making a deck builder. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to see if there's any reference to AI anywhere. That's not going to help me. The cursor, that's fine. This seems like it's very actively maintained, which is good. When was its last update? Literally yesterday. Pretty great. These are all your resources. What's the license? MIT license is good. For Godot 4.5.1 plus. That's good. Features. Drag and drop cards. Probably know the plugin front to back by the time it gets abandoned. Yeah, I want to make my... Let's be super clear about my motivation, which is that I want to make my own card system. But if we're making this in 6 months, I don't have 2 months to make a card system. So I just need to suck it up and just figure out how to integrate this into an existing project or into my new project. So drag and drop cards, built-in press and drag functionality with smooth animations. You love to see that. Customizable visuals, create unique card faces using the layout system. So it has its own layout system. Editor preview, cards render their actual layout in the editor. Ooh. It's a tool script. Tool layout script gets live data preview. That's cool. Reusable animations, plug and play animation resources for common card behaviors. What we probably want is we do probably want... Actually, what I want to see... I guess if I'm replaying a game, I would want to see the cards moving to an extent, maybe. Maybe not. Thinking about whether I would want to have the system outcomes just totally separate from this. Probably that. Probably that's what I'd want. Have this just be a front-end thing. Reusable animations, plug-and-play animation resources for common card behaviors. Nice. Data-driven design. Separate card data from visuals, layouts. That's also very nice. Hand management. Arrange cards in lines, arcs, grids, stacks, or custom shapes. Deck system. Lightweight deck definitions with a minimal manager you can extend. Love it. I do love managers. Code managers. Managers in code. I love systems. I don't love management. Let's be clear. You love crunchy interaction stuff? Yeah. Seems so time consuming. Yeah, I'm not so worried about a suits system. But maybe we have that too. I don't know. Card slots. Drop zones for placing individual cards. If we have suits, quote unquote, I think it would be like, but it could be monster suits of like, this is this type of monster, or it could be like combat types of like, this is a melee guy, this is a ranged guy, this guy is both melee and ranged, this guy is magic and ranged, this guy is magic and melee. So it would be a little messier than suits in that we'd like mix them, but Card slots. Drop zones for placing individual cards. I like that. So you could have, so we could set up, because the thing that I'm not quite sure how I'm going to track is like, so let's say you like play a swordsman card on a swordsman. So there's already one swordsman card down, and it's like, now you just see the little warrior on the battlefield. It's like, I need to know that there's one swordsman card or two swordsman cards or whatever. So I need to do some kind of stacking thing, but that can be a UI trick rather than like a playmat thing. Because I'd rather keep the sprite tiles like tight, but I'll need to be able to like have a tooltip or something where it like blows it up and you can actually see the stack of cards on a tile. We'll need something like that, which it sounds like we can even make that using this system, which would be pretty excellent. Yeah, I think the learning curve for this might be a little long, but it'll at least be shorter than making our own. Layout management panel. Editor panel to view, create, and manage all card layouts. Fully documented. In-editor documentation for all classes. Yeah, this looks good. This looks good. Why is this not on the store? Why is this not on the Godot store? This looks good. Yeah, so these are like slots that you can play into or something. I mean, there's probably just some additional solitaire logic they've added here, but you can probably flip cards over. There's probably some really good stuff here. Here's like a weird situation. So this could be like, you could draft. We'll have like a booster pack opening thing probably too that we'll be able to do, which will be fun. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of work to do with this. But this solves a lot of the problems for us already. And I think that's, you know, that's all you want. And it looks like this is done fully 2D, which is great. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we manage to do this, the stack on each tile, and how we manage that to be viewable to the player. All right, installation from the asset library. Search for simple cards in the Godot asset library. Install the add-on. Go to project, project settings, plugins, and enable simple cards. Right on, right on. Quick start. Create a card resource. Card resources store your card data. Create a new script that extends card resource. Enables layout name enum dropdown in the inspector. So I want them to be tools, which is fair. Class name, my card resource, extends card resource. Add export variable card name. String export variable attack. Export variable defense. Export variable card image. I can probably do whatever I want for like this stuff. This seems like very, very particular. We'll have to dig into card resource and try to understand that a little more. Create .tres files using your new resource type to define individual cards. Cool. Create a card layout. Layouts define how cards look. Open the card's layout panel at the bottom of the editor. Next to output, debugger, etc. Click new. New layout. Tags, optional, comma separated. So there will probably be like a unit layout. There will probably be like an item layout. There will probably be like a spell layout. And like the item and the spell will have certain look. But the thing is, you'll be able to like play an item on a unit. So there will need to be some crosstalk. Okay, so this is a card layout type. This is a unique type. It utilizes a sub viewport, which is interesting. That makes sense. It's a panel container, a layer, a label. Extend the layout script to update visuals. Add tool if you want live data preview in the editor. Extends card layout. So we have card resource, we have card layout. Name label, image. So this consists of a label. I don't see the image on here. I would have expected it to be in here, but maybe this is just an incomplete presentation. But we can have an image, so that's probably... We might need to come up with something clever for the card images. Those might need to be pretty dynamic, because I could see a unit card. Well, maybe we keep the cards straightforward, and then when they're deployed, that's when you have this kind of unique display that, while is maybe card-like, is not necessarily... Because, like, let's say combat ends and you have, like, a warrior. Let's say you played on this warrior tile. You played, like, 2 knights. Let's say the knight is still level 1. Let's say, like, combat ended before it got to level 2. So you've got 2 knights on the stack. So it's a knight that's level 1 that's maybe halfway to level 2 or something like that. Let's say you played like a battle axe on him and maybe like a suit of armor or something. When the combat ends, all 4 of those cards would come back into your deck. The 2 knights, the battle axe, the armor. They wouldn't like be fused. They wouldn't become like one card. So maybe the cards themselves can be static, like defined at edit time. And then maybe we'll just have a unique tile view where you can like look at a tile and there'll be like little boxes that'll show like the item instead of like the whole card. And maybe there'll just be a stack of cards. And if you want to look at the cards, you could look at all the cards you played on that tile. Something like that. Yeah, interesting to see the reason for the sub viewport. Maybe just make scaling cropping easier. Maybe it's interesting. It's an interesting thing there, but I'm sure there's a good reason for it. It'd almost be stamps or chips when they're equipped on a card. Then it's a full card when it's a standalone item. Yeah, essentially. Which is why we were originally being like, ooh, could we just have them be chips in a bag or whatever? And you like pour out the chips and you like play the chips. And I think we could do that, but I think we're using the language of card stuff so strongly that we need to make the cards cards. I think it would still be cute to have like a bag full of chips or chits or whatever, and you can pour them out. But yeah, I think stamps is a good word for what you would have, because you'd basically have a character sheet. That's what they are. They're character sheets. So when you play a card that's a unit card, it opens up a default character sheet, which is like, here's the knight's character sheet. And then as that knight levels up, you add things to their character sheet. You could add a skill or something because they leveled up. You could add an item on them, which gives them a skill. Like you could give them a fireball spell, and now they can use fireball. Character sheet, yeah, that's it. That's the stuff. Man, I'm glad I wasted so many years playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's finally paying off. It's not a phase, Mom. Or Dad, or whoever. I think it's moms that are canonically against D&D. Dungeons and Dragons. I think dads deep down understand the appeal of Dungeons and Dragons. Not to be, I'm not making any statements. I'm just making some jokes. I'm making some satanic panic jokes. You could have goals, flaws from story events. Ooh, that'd be crazy. I don't know about that. I think if something like that happens, it would need to affect like all of your knight cards or something like that. But yeah, maybe it would just affect 1 or 2 or whatever was on the sheet. I need to think more about that in terms of like party RPG dynamics of like, okay, is there only one knight in your party? I think the answer is yes. And it's like they're all just knight. Like you could deploy multiple knights. You could deploy 1 level 2 knight or 2 level 1 knights, and they're just called knights, and they're not going to be named, I don't think. I think they'll just represent archetypes, and they can interact in the story, but it's like, that's your party. Let's say your party is like, you have knights, archers, and bards, or something like that. And it's like, it doesn't really matter how many archers and bards and knights you have in your deck. That's your party, is like an archer, a knight, and a bard. And so, yeah, maybe we have some kind of story beat stuff that can affect their character sheet over the course of a run. Yeah. Sorry, Rhiannon. Update display. Data equals card resource as my card resource. If data name label text data card name image.texture equals data.card image. Okay. I see how this works a little bit now, I think. I'm not quite sure I understand the structure of that, but that's okay. I'll have to just look at the card layout file a little bit and understand. Spawn cards. In your game scene, card data equals preload cards my card.tres card equals card.new card data add child card. Okay. Okay. But yeah, it'd be kind of cool if they could have boons or banes or whatever, or flaws or whatever, like some darkest dungeon shit. That would be kind of cool. If like something could happen to your knight and it like affects them for the rest of the playthrough. That would be cool, because that would make up for the fact that like every time you deploy the knight, you need to give them new items and stuff, because they're all separate. Card layouts panel. The card layouts panel provides a centralized place to manage all your card layouts. View all layouts. See every layout in your project at a glance. I like that. Search and filter. Find layouts by name or filter by tags. Create new layouts. Click plus new layout to create a layout with a unique ID and optional tags. Edit layout properties. Select a layout to edit its ID and tags in the details panel. Enable disable layouts. Toggle the checkbox to control which layouts are loaded at runtime. D&D is a good gateway into making people game designers in the mechanics sense. Yeah, and not just in the mechanics sense, but like in the like you understand the psychology of players when you play D&D after enough D&D, especially if you've dungeon mastered. Like I learned more about player mentality and stuff like that, and like holding people's attention and like in like the psychology of it. I learned more from a few years playing Dungeons and Dragons than like any other experience in my life. It's definitely transformative. The panel scans your projects for scenes with layout metadata and caches the results. Ooh. It's much faster than the old system, which had to instantiate each scene to check for layouts. Layouts are identified by metadata on the root node. I see. You create or modify layouts through the panel. It automatically updates the scene file metadata, regenerates the layout ID constants file for autocomplete. Yeah, I'll have to go through their examples. So the standard deck is used for the Balatro and Solitaire example. Hand selection and sorting cards. Oh, being able to sort the cards seems neat. Applying modifiers to cards, deck management, withdraw, discard, pile preview functionality, Solitaire, combined implementation of hands and mats. Ooh, mats. That's what we're talking about. Mats, play mats. So these are probably multiple play mats, or maybe this is one play mat. I'll be interested to see how it thinks about it. Custom condition rules for card stacking and ordering in the hand. Custom function for moving cards around. GUI. Game made for the Mini Jam 201. Oh, fun. Oh, I might actually try this. This is GUI. Gunning under the influence. Oh, that's crazy. Alright, there's some audio. Hey, Gabor, have you started working on the game yet, or still in the brainstorming? We're going to proceed with working on Party Wipe, which is one of the ideas from the that short Finding the Fun series this week. Rather than just continuing it under that umbrella series, we're getting into it. We're getting into it. We pulled some assets down that I think is what we'll use the visuals for. I need to pause the music. And yeah, we are looking through a card plugin, and we are going to play a little jam game that the creator of the plugin made using the plugin here. I like the semi-transparent. Oh, that is bright. I'm going to keep it this size. Maybe a little bigger. How are you doing? Happy Saturday. You think you could have playmats be their own items with passive bonuses? There might be things on the tile, that's true. You're wondering about the UX of needing to re-equip the characters every time you deploy. Maybe you can have loadouts or auto-equip the best stats. I think it needs to be a choice, which is you've started the fight. Here's some units. Here's some items. How do you beat the room with that? How do you pursue your goals? I think the problem is I think it's too much card removal if you're like, if the first time you combine a warrior with like a battle axe, now that's, instead of 2 cards, now that's just 1 card forever. That's like too much card removal, I think. And too much like autopilot. Because like, and the way we can make that relevant is like maybe a battle axe swings and hits and does like limited damage to like 3 tiles or something. So you're like, oh, I need AoE, so I'm going to equip my battle axe this fight. And then like maybe a rapier does like 1 piercing damage to like a bunch of piercing damage to 1 target. And maybe it has reach, so you can like hit someone 2 tiles away or something. Like I want the decision to use an item to be very situational and not just, well, this is my best axe, so I always want it on my warrior. It's like, well, that's too bad because it's not always available. And it might not be the best thing for the situation anyway. So what am I trying to do? Common trigger shoots the gun. Common trigger shoots the gun. Okay, so there's rarity here. Pipe. Oh, barrel. It's a common, it's a barrel, it adds 1 damage. So what am I doing? I'm like adding... Okay, the moving the cards around feels nice. I can put it back in the hand. I can kind of... If I fail to actually do anything properly with it... Unless I play it in one of these, what I assume are mats, it just kind of comes back so that it can't go there. So I'm going to combine all of these, and then I'm going to pull the trigger. So you can actually have an action that takes place from clicking on a card again, which is neat. So this already has rarities and types. So there's like very little variety here. I'm basically just making the barrel a lot longer and then firing it. I mean, it's cute. It's like this is just to demonstrate that this thing works. But I get it. I like the animation of the card dissolve. Yeah, there's a little thing that happens when you play the card, which is neat. Little thing occurring. Very cute. And we beat him. Oh, and now we can pick a new thing. Very cool. Legendary casing. 5% chance to 99 damage. That's crazy. Gotta direct grab that. Oh, who's this guy? Let me use my legendary. I just want to use my legendary item. There it is. Hammer. 5% chance for 99 damage. It didn't happen. I didn't get the 5%. Oh, but I got the hammer back immediately. Oh, my health bar is this pint of beer. That's very clever. That's very funny. I wish the music had kept playing. All right, I'm not going to keep playing this. I just wanted to see this thing in action, and I am quite pleased with it so far. And this already has like a boosting thing. The only thing I don't see, but I'm sure we could easily do, is like booster pack opening. I'm sure we can just define a mat, define a deck that's like the booster pack, and then like fan the deck out or like send the cards into this mat. I'm sure we can have a lot of like system driven card interaction that is just happening. This is very good. Simple cards V2. All right, let's go grab that here. Add this to the project. It's definitely something we want. Simple cards. Very good. Version 2.12. What are we on? We're on 4. Are we on 4.5.1? I think we're on 4.6.1. It should probably be fine. It's a little late to go back. Add-ons, simple cards, no file conflicts. Good to see. Install. Failed to load script, parse errors, whatever. I think that's fine. Failed to compile dependent script. I think this is just like a loading problem. I think it'll work properly. Hell yeah. Let's dig around in here a bit, huh? I want to look into more of what the card layout looks like. Why are these different here? Oh, that's the PNG itself. I see. So this is a card layout. Oh yeah, I wanted to look at the card layout, man. Oh, I need to enable the plugin. Duh. Plugin. No errors. That's a good sign. Against the Storm, that could be a fun card game. I totally see that. Use the card layouts tab at the bottom for a quick setup. Here it is, card layouts. Default back. So these are the layouts. I want to see them. Oh, they're right there. I can totally see them. Cool. Front, back. Default front, default back. Okay, so I do need a card back, which makes sense. Oh, we'll need to define a card back at some point. That's something I wouldn't mind drawing eventually. You're running out of stuff to do on stream with Cryptid, so maybe you can put together a little prototype. Yeah, be greedy. Don't muscle in on my turf. I want to look at this default card layout scene. Yeah, here it is. So here's the scene. So this is it. It's a card layout. I can define the card size in pixels. That's great. This has a little card thing already, but I think I'll want a very low res one. So that's probably something I'll need to make. Oh, we also need to make a theme that includes the font that we actually want. Isn't there a font setting I can turn on that makes the font just look better? Someone was telling me about this. I don't remember if it's an editor setting or a project setting. If it's an editor setting, I think I turned it on. Fonts. Use oversampling. I don't think that was what it was. You got this D&D stuff down. You're a resource management head. Okay, good. Okay, good. Yeah, this tavern ain't big enough for the both of us. But man, now I want to go play some Against the Storm. That game is good. Man, I don't remember what the good thing to do with the fonts was. Something to help them render more clearly. I'll have to look it up. Maybe it was an editor's thing and I already did it. No, it probably wasn't an editor thing, was it? That would be weird. Theme? No, that's this theme. Just look for font stuff. Oh yeah, let's set up the default font theme actually. Custom font. Let's actually add that in here. Folder, fonts. And then move my font file over here. We're gonna use the this Nightwood font. All right. Does it matter whether I'm using an open type or a true type? Does Godot prefer open type or true type fonts? Doesn't care. Open typeface can support advanced features. We'll do the OTF. Thinking of the 2x upscaling. I don't think that's what I'm thinking of. It looked like it was some kind of maybe aliasing thing or something. I don't remember. Someone told me about it after noticing how janky my font looked. Yeah, let's use this cut. Let's use this. Oh, it was this default font. I think it was this multi-channel sign distance field. I think this is better. If set to true, the default font will use multi-channel sign distance field, MSDF, for crisp rendering at any size. This allows for resizing the font in real time without performance penalty. Text will not look grainy for controls that are scaled down. You can also default MIP maps. Note, this setting does not affect custom fonts used within the project. Use the import doc for that instead. Ah. Okay, so I would want to do that on import. Let me go find that. Nightwood. OTF. Let's look at that. So I could generate MIP maps, and I could do multi-channel signed distance stuff. I kind of want to do both. Well, that made a change. I made a weird instant change here. Oh, and it's worse. It's all rounded now. Okay, maybe we can't do that. The MIP maps is maybe good though, but well, we won't. We'll do that if it becomes a problem. This has a strange effect where it's rounding some of the surfaces, so we can't do that. It's too pixel perfect to do that. Compress. This should be fine. Be fine. We can mess around with this stuff. I think we can get pretty crazy with how we customize this. I'm not gonna go nuts on it right now. Let's see if it just works. This is our custom fonts. Nightwood OTF. Save and restart. Save and reload. Clearly there is a downside. All right, it's using our font, and it's very crisp. Very crisp. I like this font a lot. It has the same vibe as the art we're using. It's 16 point. Not 16 point. What's it called? 16 pixel. 16 pixel, which is the same as our art, which is good. And it has a certain like bent to it that feels like the art, which I like. Like it feels like these guys. It feels very in line. It feels good. You'll love to see it. Not looking forward to making sprite sheets out of all of these, but it's what we gotta do. It's what we gotta do. You know, maybe I'm not actually super strict on this deployment thing. We'll have to play it out. I could see a number of ways of doing this, but I'm like, what if it's just you enter a dungeon or something and you start deploying units and those units will carry on into the next... No, because then I don't get my card upgrade mechanic thing. I'll have to try some different stuff, though. I'll have to try some different stuff. My mind is a raging torrent, filled with rivulets of thought, cascading into a sea of possibility. Ditto. It's already a great start. We'll have to make some cards, huh? I wonder what it's like to make a new card. I kind of want to mess around with it and try it. Do I need to make the card resource first? Is that what they said? I think that's what they said. Create a card resource card. No, I want to create a layout first. And then I create a card resource that uses that layout? That's maybe a characteristic of card resource. Let's see about that. Class name, abstract tool icon. Basic data containers for the card class. Extend this resource to fit your card needs. Subclasses should add tool, so the layout name enum appears in the inspector. If valid, the layout will be used instead of the default front layout. Why the front layout only? Oh, no, here we go. If property.name is the front layout name, or property.name is back layout name, option string, join layout ID to get all. And I don't totally understand what that's doing, but that's fine. That's a signal. It's hooked up to something. Oh. Oh, no, this is just from object. Oh, this is an override of a validate property. Override this method. Every property info goes through this method, except property as with... Oh. Interesting. New to me. Watch a movie and make sprite sheets. Honestly, that's close to probably what I'm going to do after this. I won't bore you with that on stream. Unless I don't finish. But yeah, I guess this is what I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to be playing around with this card thing first. Because I think it's really important to start by figuring out how the player is going to interact with your game. I feel like that's an important starting point. Because that's what enables all interaction. That's what provides you with the things that you can use to make stuff happen. And so I could start out by making like a battle map and like resolving combat, but I'd rather be like, how do you play units and how do you organize your card? How do you play cards? I'd rather start there. Because for one thing, that's a big question mark for me. Forget where you heard it, but build the toy first. Yeah, to me, the toy is... Well, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I think that means build... I don't know what that means. I could generate an explanation that supports my argument, but I feel like I could also generate an explanation that contradicts my argument. Hey, Four Toasters, how's it going? I do think a lot of the things that I've made in the past that I call games really are toys because of a lack of structure. And in that way, I think you're agreeing with me. Because we're trying to just make the thing of you have cards, you can play them on the mat, stuff happens, they come back, you can play them. Like, I'm trying to get the interaction going, right? And then the underlying systems will add to that. Okay, here's all this stuff. It's a lot of signals being emitted. So this updates the sub viewport and notifies the parent when changed. Is the sub viewport the thing constraining the... Interesting. So what if I do this? And what if I change this? Be like, let's just say 40 by 56 or something. Hey, that kind of works. Huh. What is this card thing coming from? Is this just a pan? Where is this image coming from? So it's literally a style box. Oh yeah, it is a style box. It's got a corner radius. It's got a border width. Oh shit, I can define all of these with style boxes. The card backs and card edges and stuff. That is cool. That is really cool. Is that really how this works? Kinda seems like how this works. I don't know quite what's happening here with this border inside, with this inner border. Corner detail. Interesting. Wonder what this looks like if I increase the resolution. Yeah, the border stuff is the same. Neat. That is neat. What are you making now? We are making a roguelike. This is one of our prototype ideas, and it's the best one that I've got so far. So we are pursuing a roguelike deck builder, a fantasy roguelike deck builder, where you draft a party of adventurers to quest for glory and gold. How's it going? Happy Saturday. Yeah, you're agreeing with me? Okay, good. Stylebox texture supports 9 patch. Nice, nice. Nice. Yeah, we're going to need subsections of this because we're going to need, like, the weapon slot. We're going to need, like, weapon and item slots. And we can probably do, like, a thing on the back where it's, like, one of the items, but it's, like, an impression of it. So you can be like, oh, this is an item slot that will only take an armor. Or this is an item slot that will only take a weapon. Or maybe we can even be more specific and we can be like, this is a slot that will only take a melee weapon. And then what people could do to, like, take their actions during the game is they can they can mouse over the tile of the character. It'll bring up their little character sheet. And they could... I don't know if I'll actually make the character sheet a card. Maybe I will. And then you can, like, select... actually, it probably won't be a card because it would be kind of custom. It might look like a card, but it'd probably be a different system because I don't want you to be able to move it. I don't know. I'll have to see that. But yeah, maybe you can, like, click the axe and then, like, click on the board. And they'll use the axe. Or you could click on a fire spell and they'll use a fire spell. Maybe you could click on a scroll and it gives you, like, additional draw for, like, next turn or something like that. Maybe we have some items you can use that affect the what's happening, not necessarily in the combat. Like, maybe you have maybe the warlock, maybe the wizard can, like, scry, and it's like, maybe the wizard could use scry. Maybe the warlock could do, like, a rummage or something like that, of, like, a discard then draw. There's a lot of shit we could do. So there's focus in animation, focus out animation, flip in animation, flip out animation, card animations. Yeah, this looks great. I think it's going to take me a little while to understand what's going on here, but this is great. So we've got Bob, Fade, Scale, card animation resource. Wish it can loop. An abstract class. Doesn't have abstract written in it. Oh no, it does have abstract written in it. Overriding subclasses that support it. Cool, cool, cool. So like Bob, does Bob loop? See Bob loop. Loop Bob loop. So Bob supports loop. That's neat. Fade. Cool. Scale. We'll definitely use scale to, like, shrink the card down as you play it. It'll get played onto the board or something, or played into the slot or something. Like, if it's a unit, it'll get played onto the board. If it's an item, it would get played into the slot of the, like, it would. There's some cool stuff here. There's a lot of juicy stuff here. I don't want to do that. I don't really want items that are like, or cards that are like spells you cast outside. Yeah, I don't know how auto-battle-y it's going to be the more I think about this, because I want the player to be able to do things during rounds of combat. So I think it might be more of like a Into the Breach style thing. Well, you'll have some actions you can take on your turn. We'll probably just have some classic turn-based combat stuff there. Yeah, this plugin's great. It's great. So card layout, I want to understand. Card resource, I want to understand. What's card.gd? Simple card with basic drag and drop functionality. Class name card extends button. Okay, so under the hood, it's really just a button. Emitted when the card is pressed but not dragged. Mouse up, just the hover area. Default card size used for editor preview. This is good. This is good stuff. So this is all the good stuff in the card. Undraggable. Okay, so we could have character sheets as cards, and we could just make it. We could do some tricks. We could do some tricks. We'll see. We'll see if that makes sense. In it, card resource. Card resource is null. Okay, so a card is something you create. You provide a card resource for that card. So where is a card here? Card layout, card resource. So this is the add-on. So what I actually want to know, so we've got containers for cards, we've got a hand, we've got a pile. So there's a hand, there's a pile, there's a slot. Very cool. So yeah, a character sheet could be a card slot so that you can play cards onto the character sheet. This could be very, very cool. This might involve dynamic creation of card resources, which is a little rough, but maybe we can manage. Maybe we can manage. There's a deck. I love all the like icons. So the gray means it's just a resource. Card deck is a pure data resource. It defines what cards a deck contains, not where they are at runtime. Ah. Use card deck manager or card pile to manage a runtime state. Okay. So, example usage. In the editor, create a .tres with 52 standard card resources. At runtime, vary a cards array card resource equals deck.getCards. Interesting. So I guess a deck will be like our pack. So like if you open a booster pack, that'll be some thing that we've defined. Maybe we randomize it to an extent. Maybe we predefine them. We'd probably want all the packs to be defined and just randomize which pack you get. Because I probably want to curate the different pack possibilities for balance. We could probably do some kind of procedural thing to do it, but we'd need to like define the relative values of cards, and like we'd have to do a whole bunch of shit to do that procedurally. Man, there's a lot here. Okay, there's a card deck manager. I like this. Manages a card deck by populating card pile nodes with card instances. Card deck manager is intentionally minimal. It initializes piles from a deck definition and provides convenience methods for common operations. For game-specific logic, solitaire dealing, hand limits, turn structure, extend this class. Okay. Manager does not own or create piles. You add card pile nodes in the scene tree and assign them via exports or code. Okay. Starting pile to populate on setup. If null, a child card pile is created automatically. Okay. So you could have an empty pile, but some pile will be generated. So a card deck manager manages a pile. Interesting. So we'd have multiple card deck managers. Populates the starting pile with card instances created from the deck definition. If source deck is provided, it overrides the exported member deck. Target pile is provided, it overrides the exported starting pile. Hey, Magoo, how's it going? Happy Saturday. How are you? I'm good. We're working on a new game here. We're messing around with a plugin for card plugin for like handling cards and hands and decks and card piles and stuff like that. It looks really good. think it's going to save us months of trying to figure something like this out. But yeah, we're working on my roguelike deck builder that we're starting today called Party Wipe. How are you doing? Can't wait to say been here since episode 1. Yeah, at least for this series. That's fine. Nobody that was here in the original episode 1. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, you can say you were here from episode 1. There you go. Yeah, we're doing okay. We're hanging out. We're excited for this project. We got all the good feelings of like a new project. And we're trying to keep a different mindset for this. We're trying to keep a very game jam mindset, which is why I was willing to download a plugin for this at all. If I approach this like a quote unquote dream game, I would insist on doing all of this myself. But no, because this is like more of like a personal, it's a commercial, I'm calling that, maybe we call this the Steam Game Jam. The game jam where we make a Steam game. And hopefully like 6 months. You just study the dev because you're learning the Godot. Yeah, the Godot is the best. The Godot is great. The Godot is good. Oh, I wanted to do like a good something. A good. It's good. Godot is good. we sputtered out there. Godot is good. Just repeat that mantra. No, we don't need to brainwash you. Only Unity devs need to brainwash themselves into thinking that their engine is good. Godot is apparently good. It's readily apparent to all. OS Dev is good. OS Dev is fun. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Override create card to customize card instantiation. Oh man, this is very cool. Okay, so we can do some really interesting stuff with this. I think what I need to do is I need to see how the example project is set up. Where are the examples? Card container I want to look at a little bit. Base class for card containers. Manages an internal cards array. Layout computation via container shape and provides the registration interface used by card.move2. Cool. Subclass card hand, card pile, or card slot for specific behavior. Ooh, okay, so this is the base class. So we can specify how many cards are allowed in the container. Very cool. -1 is unlimited. Cool. Default the tween duration for cards settling in a position. I like this. I like this. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. But I feel like this is actually more, I mean, I know this is hundreds of lines of code, but like this feels like this is actually like made in a way that's very straightforward. But very powerful. Very powerful looking. All right, let's look at these. So we have a card hand. Card container that arranges cards in a visual hand layout. Provides drag-based reordering, focus chain management, Z-index stacking. For game-specific behavior, selection, validation, multi-drag. Extend this class and override. Handle card added, handle card removed, or handle clicked card. Yeah, the extensibility of this looks really powerful. All right, pile. Container for cards that can function as an invisible holder or a visual pile. So invisible holder. So we could actually have a pile that you can't see. Or you can only see sometimes, which would be great. That would be like the pile of cards under the character sheet. Maybe the character sheet is just the unit card. Maybe there's really no difference between the unit card and the character sheet. Yeah, I'm tempted to make I'm tempted to make it work that way. Y'all are very funny. Cards in a pile are disabled and optionally hidden. Provide shuffle, peek, and visibility controls. Oh man, being able to peek the deck. We're gonna have so much fun with like class-based abilities like Scry. It's gonna be good. I like that you're shortening Godot assembly to like go to ass. Poker at the inventory 2.2 is being dubbed here. No, this is someone else's. I'm just trying to understand what's going on. This is Simple Cards V2.12, not quite 0.2. It's really, really good. I kind of need to look at some of its examples. To see kind of what's going on. But I'm just enjoying reading about the different archetypes, the different base classes. A single card container that detects when a held card is dropped on it. Well, I like that. So each tile would be like a card slot. So we could do this in an interesting number of ways. So like we could have the tiles on the board normally be card slots that only take unit cards, assuming you're allowed to deploy there at all. I could totally see obstacles being in the way that you have to like maneuver around. So like maybe some slots aren't deployable, but or maybe they're preoccupied. So it's because it's a single card container. Supports locking, swap on drop, abandon on empty space, custom placement rules, avoid check conditions to add game specific validation. Yeah, so we could have tile space be this point where you can place a unit. And then once you place the unit in the card slot, in the card container, maybe now you've got this additional logic of now you can play. Yeah, we can do the check conditions thing. Maybe those are piles more than they are slots. But we'll have to see about the behavior, about how that works. I would kind of like, what I would like is for the character sheet to be placed on a card slot, aka the unit like card. And then we treat the character sheet once it's placed as its own card pile with itself on top. And then additional cards you place get like put under it and then displayed on it, maybe. I don't know. We'll mess around with that. I see ways this could work. That would be very cool. It's going to be a lot to kind of, I think, grasp the underlying way this works, but man, this is way better than having to figure this out myself. Because at least I just have to figure out the way they did it. I don't have to figure out how I would do it and then do it. Seems quite hard to implement. That's pretty good, Magoo. That's pretty good. Will there be a card in Iliad crossover? I don't totally know what that means, but if you mean like this with the other game we were working on, don't count on it. This is very different. All right, we looked at a card deck manager. This is the layout cache.json. So this is the file that includes all the layouts I've created. Mat, card mat. Oh, a card mat. A simple panel that detects when cards are dropped on it. Cool. Interesting. On card dropped. I wonder what we do after that, though. CG card game. There's some kind of global or something here. The global singleton calls used by the Simple Cards plugin. Do not instantiate. Yeah. Okay, so this is a global cache path. Okay, so I could redefine this cache path if I wanted. This is all done so well. I never write code like this. I never write code to be usable or extensible, even by myself, let alone by anyone else. It's very refreshing to see someone who takes this stuff seriously. I appreciate it a lot. There's gonna be a lot of functions in here, and I probably need to learn them all. Get available layouts, has layout, get layouts, layouts. So this manages mostly layout stuff here. Okay, so this is mostly about handling layouts. Interesting. Okay, and it handles some card stuff, like when cards are dropped or held. Okay. Shape. What is a shape? Card container shape. Pre-made shapes. Oh, so this organizes cards into an order. There's already a grid shape. You love to see it. Computes positions and rotations for cards in a card container. So a card container can have a shape. Subclass and override define custom layouts. Holds the computed positions and rotations for a set of cards. So there's an arc, a grid, a line, and a stack. So a hand is like an arc. We'll have like a grid for the play space. That'll be great. That already exists. There seems a lot of focus control. This might actually be playable on a joystick, which would be pretty cool. I'm not going to be preoccupied with that to start, but it would be cool if we retain the ability to do that. For the future, it would be cool. Number of columns in the grid. You love to see that. Number of rows in the grid. Horizontal distance between card centers. Vertical distance between card centers. If true, arrange cards by rows. If false, by columns. So maybe there will be like a card grid view or something like that. That would be cool. There's so much here to explore. Card global, we looked at that. Layout IDs, we looked at that. Simplecards.gd. This is the plugin code. All of that is very good. I want to mess around with some of the examples. Okay, the examples are not included here. Doesn't look like it, which is fair. I kind of want to see the examples and how they work. Or maybe I should just start trying to mess around and lay stuff out. No, I should see some examples. Let's go here. Let's go to this. Let's... All right, if I want to play some of the examples... So I need to download these. Well, hold the phone. Where are the examples? Give me the examples. Is this included? I'm just an idiot. Doesn't look like it's included anywhere. It's not. So how do I get this part? Why can't I get this folder? Pull down this folder. It's not included when I just download the code from the project. Okay, well, maybe we do this differently then. Card image is a texture rect. So if I don't want to... Okay, so this doesn't have the texture rect because it doesn't use it. It's using a control thing to do that. Can we do that? I'll probably need to make my own custom layout that has... So let's do that instead. Let's mess around with like creating like a character sheet card. Maybe it's just a character sheet when it's deployed. I think I'll call it a unit card. Maybe I'll call it a character. Well, I'll call it a unit card. I think I'll distinguish them as units, items, spells. I can't really think of another type right now. And you could imagine an item that casts a spell when it's consumed. So you could maybe have like a... You could have Fireball, but you could also maybe have Scroll of Fireball, right? I don't know if I actually want to do that, but I could see that being fun. Because then you could put Fireball on like a warrior, right? Because they just need the item. I could see that providing... We need to provide a lot of tactical flexibility in the game because you don't know what units, items, and spells you're going to draw. And so there needs to be a lot of versatility. A lot of versatility. But yeah, let's do this. Let's do this quick start. So we'll create a card resource. We're going to create a script that extends card resource. So we'll do that in... We'll do that in a scripts file that a scripts folder I'm going to create. And we'll make a script. It is going to extend card resource. It will be called unit card resource. Night, Dave. Take it easy, Magoo. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good Saturday night. Hey, Shafa in. Thanks for coming on in here. Everyone, get in here. How are you doing? Happy Saturday. You've caught us starting work on our new roguelike deck builder, where you draft a party of adventurers to quest for glory and gold. And it's called Party Wipe. I'm having fun with that. I'm going to have a real hell of a time when I go to create a capsule image for this game. That's going to be hard for me. I think we could make it happen. I think we make it happen. All right, res script. Unit card resource. All right. Is that right? We'll probably have various unit card resources. But this is going to be it. This one is, there are many like it, but this one is mine. Okay, so I've got our card resource. We want to add the... We want to, I guess, add the resource file name for some reason. I don't normally do that. I don't totally understand the utility of it. I think it's a documentation thing. Unit card resource.gd. We're just going to follow this guy's format. At tool. I'll just copy this part too. Class name extends. Yeah, okay, so we'll say class name. I never do that as one line. I always do that as class name and then extends. I kind of like doing it as one line here. You say unit card resource. I kind of like doing this as one line instead of two lines, which is normally what I do. This is kind of neat. It's a toilet paper on the main image and it changes the concept of the game immediately. Yeah, my biggest problem with the way I'm presenting it this way is that it's very Souls-like. But I think that's a thing I do want to invoke. I do want to invoke that because this game, because of my limited ability to make content, this game needs to be hard. Game needs to be kind of hard. So I think we are going for like a more old school D&D approach, where the lethality is higher and you're more likely to like lose stuff. But at least here, as long as you stop short of a full party wipe, the game is not over. As long as it tells people about what the fantasy of the game is, I think it's good. As long as it evokes the fantasy, I think it's good. All right, so I need some export variables. I'm just going to copy these over. It is true that a unit would have attack and defense, like a base attack and a base defense, which could be modified. Card name. Is this abstract? Because we would only want to we would only ever want to have actual specific unit card resources. You would never have this generic unit card resource. In which case, would you even put these here? Maybe you would. Do I need to do... Does card resource have these? No, card resource does not have these. Export variable, front layout name. Okay, so if I... So let's not do the abstract thing right away. I think that is the correct move in the long run, but let's actually just go through this little tutorial the way it's written and not fuck around with this. Then create .tres files using your new resource type to define individual cards. Okay, well maybe we do go through this then and we just go one further layer. So all units should have attack, defense. I don't know if they should have a card image. I'm not sure about that. Although maybe the layout uses the image to do something. If I write it that way, I need to close all of these. There's like way too many of these open. Hey, Skywalk, what up? Happy Saturday. Welcome in. All right, layouts define how cards look. Open the card layouts panel at the bottom of the editor and click new. So here's the thing. Do I want to do something that's like that's like an abstract layout? Maybe kind of. Like maybe I do want a unit card layout and then I'll specify specific layouts for specific cards. Insofar as like we'd have probably maybe the knight layout is different than an archer layout, but they're both unit layouts, so they have some similarity. Yeah. I don't like nesting things quite that much, but it's probably the right thing to do. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. I guess I do want to have some common behavior between them. Extend the layout script to update visuals. Add tool if you want live data preview in the editor. And then we just spawn our cards, okay? Variable card data equals preload cards, my card. Card equals card.new, add child card. Where does it go, though? Where does it go? Where does it go? I do want to open up one of these. I want to pop open these examples, but I can't figure out how to get them. They don't download when you download the project or the GitHub. Here. You know what I need to do? I need to... Oh, I'm not signed in right now. That's weird. That's unfortunate. I will come back and star this. This is great. Initial commit 7 months ago. Oh man, this is a pretty young project. Lucky us. Lucky us, we came just in time. Does anyone know how to download this folder specifically? I can't seem to do it. This doesn't do it. Downloading this only downloads the add-on / simple cards. That doesn't work. Doesn't work, Skywalk. Tried it. Kappa. So that's for a clone. Maybe it did download it and it's like hidden. That seems unlikely. Yeah, it only downloads the add-ons folder. I don't know how you stop that or how you get around that. It's not included in the GitHub release, that's why. Yeah, I get that. Clone the whole repo, Mr. Who-Man. That's a good idea. That would work, wouldn't it? Okay, I might do that later. so I can play around with the examples. How are you doing, Mr. Who Man? Happy Saturday. We're messing around with this very good basic card handling system. A flexible UI-based card system plugin for Godot. We need this. We need this for this game. We need this to be able to hit the ground running here, and we like it. Like it so far. I just want to dig around in an example project. Or I guess I would be making my own example project, but using their files. All right, a unit card can have an attack, it can have a defense. It should probably need to also have a health. I don't know if it would have a card image is the thing. I guess there might be a unit image. Like unit image. Attack, defense, health. That seems right. That's all you really need, right? What's the game idea? You're okay? You were on the road the whole day? Oh, man. Your current prototype is a card game now? You're so out of loop. You're here like every day, Arneo. No, I'm just kidding. We're making a fantasy roguelike deck builder where you draft parties of adventurers to quest for gold and glory. Or glory and gold. I keep saying it differently. It's called Party Wipe. It's going to be very minimal. Is that a game jam? We're going to approach it like a game jam. We're going to try to take our game jam attitude, pause our dream game stuff that we're working on, and try to like jam something out in like 6 months. We're going to see if we can use a different approach that's also very heavy on assets instead of doing everything ourselves. You also started an FTL clone prototype? Hell yes, but multiplayer? Ooh, I want to follow that. I want to stay in the loop on that one. If you're not already in the Discord, please join the Discord and keep me apprised of that. That sounds really fun. I would play the shit out of that. Yeah, the first part of this deck builder is to sort out the card stuff. That's what we're doing right now. And this plugin is perfect for it. I'm just trying to figure out the finer points of it. Hey, it showed up. Unit card resource. Cool. What if I make this abstract, though? Which is kind of what I want to do. I actually don't want this to show up in the dropdown, but... Yeah, now it doesn't. Sick, because it can't be instantiated. Instantiated. Need more of a T sound there. Hey, Joaquin. What am I programming? We are working on a... I'm sorry, I only speak English. We're working on a fantasy roguelike deck builder about drafting a party of heroes. It's called Party Wipe. It's a new thing we're working on starting today, even. It's a new thing. New thing we're doing. We're messing around with the card management kind of stuff. Figuring out how that all works. All right, so all I really want to do is I want to create a new card layout for a unit card. So we did this part. And then what I want to do is I want to create a new layout. Tags, optional, comma separated. Interesting. It's gonna be really cool making a card back. It's gonna be really cool making multiple card backs. But let's not worry about that. Man, who invented work? Can we find that guy and lynch him? I know, right? I think you're looking for the capitalists. I think you're looking for the bourgeois, the bourgeoisie. They live over on Billionaires Row. Henry Ford. No, Henry Ford invented the weekend. We have to thank Henry Ford. All right, so let's make a new layout. Is it gonna build a thing for me? Let's see what happens here. Okay, so if I want to connect things here, so does the card layout know what kind of card resource it could be? Yeah, so it'll say variable data is card resource as my card resource. So I can be like, this is the unit card layout. It takes a unit card resource. And then I can get more specific about it. Okay, okay. So let's say scripts. Let's make a cards folder. And then let's make a resources. And a layouts. Which I understand is mixing the terminology in Godot a little bit. But that's going to be okay. So we'll make a new script. It will be called unit card layout. It will extend card layout. And then we'll just do the thing that they do here. I don't know why I didn't just click that. This is very exciting. I think the hardest thing about this approach is going to be not just like going absolutely crazy on this. Like my one problem about doing this with a game jam style approach is I'm going to have a hard time not using a game jam work ethic. All right, we're also going to make this abstract. Well, maybe not at first. Let's just try it out, and these aren't abstract yet, but I very much feel like these are going to be abstract things. We have a name label, we have a card, we have an image. This is going to be a unit image, not name label. Data is card resource as unit card resource. Oh, did I need to... So I need to do this part, though. How do I do this? I might have done this in the wrong order. Unfortunately. I think I needed to do this part first. Oh, this saves a scene. Not a script. Okay, that's fine. What we need then is a scenes folder. I'm weird like this where I like separating my top levels based on the kind of things they are. Godot really doesn't like. Godot wants you to have like the object in the folder structure and then have the pieces of the object in that same folder with the object. It really doesn't like doing this top down thing, but this is how I structure my game jam, so we're gonna do that. If you can't beat them, join them, Skywalk. Joaquin, you're programming an IDE that is used exclusively on a touchscreen. You haven't used a keyboard for 10 years. Wow. Do you use a touch like a virtual keyboard, or do you have some kind of crazy Minority Report gesture-based interface? Because that would be really impressive. No, I'm kidding. That's really impressive either way. I'm just messing around. Okay, so we have these. What I need to do is create something here. So I need to create a new layout. It's going to be called unit. Should I, how specific should I do this? Should I say unit card? Should I have the word layout in it? I don't know if I should. Well, that the file here is called default cardback layout.scene, but right here that's just named as a name. Oh, I could specify. We'll start with layout ID. So the text is unique. Maybe. We have default. We want unit. This is already a card layout, so I don't need to go into more specific detail than that, I don't think. Save scene as. Select to save location. Oh, this is neat. And so we'll save this as the unit card layout. And that's it. And now we have one. And now, so it starts out being identical to the default. And then if I want to change it, so I take this unit card layout scene we created, which I guess is this. Well, hold on a second. I'm slightly confused. Unit card layout.scene. Okay, no, this is correct. So then what I do is I put my own script on here. So we would... Oh, I could extend script. Oh, so I should have done this in a slightly different order. That's fine. You joined them. Lots of perks. It's funny. Script is currently running, that's why I'm like hesitant to change it. So maybe what I should do is actually delete this script and then do it this way. Yeah. So we can say scripts, and we can say cards, and we can say layouts, and we can say unit card layout. Create a new script for me. And then now I will copy over this part. And now I can rewrite some of this stupid stuff. Class name unit card layout extends card layout. I want a unit image. Unit card resource. Unit image. Might change this to be unit name or something. But name label is nice because it's the same length as unit image. All right. So this is unique, but it's also not present. So where is it? So I actually need to rename this to probably be like name label. And then I would need to make it unique so I could refer to it. And then what I would want to do is I want to probably put the name at the top. Whoa. Probably put the name. Oh, man. Horizontal, we'll say center is correct. Label settings. Wrap off. Layout. Inherited. Panel container. Okay. Transform. Size. Position. Well, let's change this then. Oh, I can't. It's a child of container. This is wrong. There's something wrong in the... There's an editor setting that's wrong. Okay, I need to look this up. I know what this is. Godot, editor, node, or custom icon too small. There's something I can change that fixes this. What is it? You need to enable editor scaling for the asset or resize the source file. So I can fix it in the import setting. Can I fix it in an editor setting? I could do a manual multiplier. I don't really want to do that. Okay, we'll fix it in the editor, in the import. So we'll go through our add-ons. Find our little icons. Where do I do that? Card layout, card icon layout. So this, your import settings needs to be where is that? Scale with editor scale. That's what I want to turn on. Where is that? Can I not do that with PNGs? Can I only do that with dimension 16 by 16? Godot import setting. Is that not something I can do with a texture 2D? Do this. I'll fix it later. It's like a super minor thing, but it's just the icons are too small, and it's because I'm doing this at 4K. And there's a way to change it so that it scales. I just don't see it. It might not be an option with a texture 2D. I might have only done it before with other files. Project scale. I want icon scale. Maybe that's an editor setting. Scale. Display scale 200%. Yeah, that would affect it. Custom display scale. Editors. Nope. Icon. Icon and font color and there's a way to do this, and I don't remember what it is. Well, I remember one way to do it, but I'm unable to find the other one. Icon. I might have changed the import setting. Or I might have to change the kind of thing I'm importing this as if I want to have the icons be the right size. That's why SVGs are kind of nicer to do icons with than PNGs, I think. Whatever, I'll figure it out. Super minor problem. But yeah, you can kind of see in the corner this little layout is just so tiny compared to the other icons, and it's because it's not scaling. Oh, am I? No, okay, so icon card layout, mode, lossless, map generate, roughness, source minimal, fix alpha border, size limit. Set to a value greater than 0, hold on. No, not what I need. What if I did this as an image instead? That doesn't help. Can I only do this setting if it's an SVG file? No, I guess I could go in, make these SVGs and put them back in. That's like a stupid thing to do, but I could do it. I would like the icons to be the right size. It's like a dumb thing to care about right now, though. Hey, Overload. What up? Welcome in. We are working on a Roguelike Deckbuilder. All right, I want to reposition this. It's stuck in the center. Layout direction inherited. Nope. So it's a child of a container. Use the container properties for positioning. I want to reposition this. And I would like to do it properly, but I'm so bad at doing it. So if I wanted, so I have a panel container. And what I need to do is I need some stuff within this. So maybe what I actually want to do is do a VBox. Fill, expand, fill, expand. This node doesn't have a control panel. Okay, so it's got its own thing. Layout direction, full rect, yes. So I think what I need to do is I need to insert a VBox. And then put the name label in the VBox. Yeah, there we go. So we got this on top. And then what we're going to have is we're going to have a texture rect that is going to be the unit image. What's up? Back at you, Overload. Yeah, we're working on a new project today called Party Wipe, a fantasy roguelike deck builder where you draft a party of adventurers to quest for glory and gold. And yeah, we're having a good time. We're familiarizing ourselves with a card management thing. So this isn't going to be front. This will be unit by default. Open question whether the longest names will fit here. Necromancer. Uh-oh. We might have a slight problem. What's the longest name? What's the longest unit name that we've got? Let's go look at the assets. So we've got here. The longest one by far is Necromancer. So if we can get Necromancer to fit, everything else is going to fit. Oh man, there's so many cool things in here. There's a Spellblade, an Artificer, an Alchemist, a Witch. I thought there were monster witches too. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I misunderstood that. It'd be cool if, like, maybe some of these is like you have to defeat the witch and then you can get a witch booster pack or starter pack or something. Like maybe you have to defeat them first. Or you have to do a quest for them or something. Maybe we can get some party RPG stuff in there. One time you tried building UI without using containers. Don't recommend it. I have done entire game UIs hard coding the positions. Because I'm like not going to allow anyone to resize the window anyway. I'm like I usually use pixel art viewports and stuff. So I have gone out of my way. I think I've even done game UIs using just 2D assets, like game assets, like using sprites, because I was like, I hated control nodes so much. But yeah, I've been there. Control nodes have a transform. Took you ages to find it because they stick it in a different place for some reason. Yes, but they don't really want you to use it. You can to do what I'm describing, where you like hack it, but they really want you to do it differently. So maybe we need to do a special thing where the necromancer one is just like a little smaller. We just like change the font size or something. We do like a theme override and we like reduce this by 1 or something. Oh, we can't reduce it by 1. It has to be either, wait, it's a 16 pixel font, right? I think I can make alternative. How do I do that then? I think there's a way to do this. I think there's a way for me to do like a 12-point font version, and I think I can make it work. Well, maybe I can't. Maybe it has to be. What is this? What's the actual size of this thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, I should be able to make an 8-pixel version of this font, but that might be it. It might need to be powers of. It might need to be multiples of 8. Let's cross that bridge when we get there. It might even have to be something like necromancer. No, I don't know. We'll figure out necromancer. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll change the card size so that it fits. But let's just start with unit for now. Let's like not make a problem out of an edge case. And so the idea here. Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles. Are we doing like the Darkest Dungeon voice actor thing? Is that what's happening? Paid for in blood. I can't do that guy's voice. That guy is such a unique. Would love for him to dub my. I think we're gonna get a lot of Darkest Dungeon comparisons in the long run with this game. Can you just put it in a viewport and then just scale it down? It literally is in a viewport. There's stuff we can do. All I did was plug in the font, and I set up no configuration for it. I think we can configure different font sizes to work different ways. I think I can do it a little differently to take care of the pixel requirements of doing that font at different sizes. I'm not going to worry about it for now. Unit image. And then so what we do have is we say unit image.texture is data.card image. And so I have this unit card layout. I have a unit card resource. And then now what do I need to do? I think I need to make the resource still. Because I made the resource script, but I don't think I actually made the resource part. Yeah, create a TRES file using the new resource type to define individual cards. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So I will... Scripts, cards, layouts, resources, scenes, cards. Maybe I want a cards folder... We'll say scenes, cards. We'll say layouts. Put that in there. Say resources. Remember the intro by heart. The intro is really good. I love desktop dungeon, or not desktop dungeon, Darkest Dungeon. I will never finish that game because that game has no respect for the player's time. I would like the brutality of that game, but without the whole XCOM, I've lost like my A team and now I need to spend 12 hours building up my B team into my new A team. And then it's like I lost my B team right after losing my A team, so now I need to train up my C team over like 30 hours. It's so grindy. The developer has come out and said and acknowledged that, which is I think why Darkest Dungeon 2 is very different. I think there has been acknowledgement on that point. All right, let's get at least a card. Let's get at least a card showing. So what do I need to do? I need to make a resource, which is different than a scene. Or maybe it's not. Create new resource. Okay, so I do need a resource folder. Remove. Make a resources folder. Well, this is the resources folder, huh? Res/resources seems bad, but I might do it. I might rethink some of my organization here. I get a little confused by the distinction between a resource and a scene, but I get it. I guess I kind of get it. Resources. We want our unit card resource. I want to make an example of our unit card resource. I will call this our knight card. The card name will be knight. The attack, defense, and health don't matter. The unit image, we will find the unit image here in the sprites. Characters. Oh god, this is all in one folder. Human knight. Why is this all in one folder? I thought there were more than this. What happened to hundreds of characters? This doesn't look like hundreds. I wonder if there are recolors in here. Well, there's elemental colors. That seems like rather lazy. Oh, proper dragon. Dragon Hydra even. Chicken. Doesn't look like hundreds. Oh, let's just open this. So that's the human, the knight thing. And then so that's our knight card resource. I guess that's what I should have called it. Knight card resource. And so this isn't a scene. I can't open this like a scene, right? You have your resources in a data folder. Ooh. That's not a bad idea. I kind of like that better than resources. I kind of like to put some different stuff in data, but I think in this case that would be a good use of data. At last, beneath the salt-cragged ruins and the lower foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Yeah, the intro slaps. The Darkest Dungeon intro is like so good. Okay, so we'll open up our scene, cards, layouts. We'll just make a new Make a new scene. Say a night card. It's gonna be night. Well, how do I do this part? I use resources so rarely. Create TRES files using your new resource type to define individual cards. Yes. Oh, wait. Do I not actually create a card scene? This is the resource. And so actually what I want to do is I just want to do this part. Okay. We will, for the moment, do this. Put this in here. Not this, though. Where's my card resource? It's here. All right, let's see what this does. Well, it loaded a card. The card is not right. Do I need to update some more stuff? Display updated dot emit. Unit card layout. Card resource. Whoa, 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 wait a second. Oh, I need to plug in the resource here. I'm a little confused, but that's okay. We'll plug in the unit card resource there. Did that do it? Nope. In your game scene, card data, preload. Your card.tres. That's what my night card resource is, right? Night card. Card name is night. Unit image is this. Oh, I need to set the layouts. Front layout name is unit. Back layout name is default back. It's important to read all of the exports. Okay, still didn't do anything. Still nothing. Let's look at the unit card layout. Name label. Oh, I need to make the unit image unique. It's called card image. I need to change it to unit image. Data.card name, data.card image. Oh, do I need to card name unit image? Unit card resources extends card resource. Variables aren't set up right. All right, pre-rolls are on. All I want to do is get a card, a custom little card showing up, and I'll be happy. Does card resource have these different things? No. Now does it work? No. Okay. Still not quite there somehow. Rename this unit card layout. Unit card layout extends card layout. Name label. Unit image. So name label.text equals data.unit name. Unit image.texture equals data.unit image. Unit card. Oh, did I change these names so I lost the resource? Yes. Sort of. The image is still consistent, but for some reason this is wrong. Night. Still just says front. Front layout name. Unit. Back layout name. Default back. I'm going to move these around a little bit. Oh, that didn't change anything. That's interesting. There we go. Okay, that changed it. Unit. Card resource. Front layout name. Unit. Okay. Card layout. Unit card layout. Scene. Unit card layout. Scene. All right, card resource. Unit card resource. Card size. Okay. This looks like it should work. Front. So still wrong. Is it the main script? Card. Card.new. Card data. Card data preload. This guy. Which is this guy. Still nothing. Update display. Is this something I need to do? Or is this something that gets called? Looks like it's something that just gets called. Unit card resource. Card resource. Unit card layout. Unit card resource. Wait, hold on a second. Does it have to be this specific night card resource? No, that's still wrong. What the heck is going on here? We're going to end with a whisper, not a bang here. We're going to end with me just struggling to get this to just this display, to get this one simple thing displaying. All I want to do is see my little custom card. Right here, it just says a unit. It has an image. Let's see your layout. Is it center? It's in inherited. Even just the unit name would be nice, but for some reason it's not even doing that. It's doing a fallback. It's doing this fallback. If valid, the layout will be used instead of the default front layout. So yeah, I'm overwriting this with this. Oh. Does it need to be this? No. If property.name is equal to this or this, do this. There's something I'm missing here. And it's preventing me from achieving my goal here. And I've only got 5 minutes to really figure it out or less. That's annoying. Oh, now it's back to nothing. Oh, but this is the default card layout. And this is the unit card layout with the unit card resource. This seems wrong. What's going on here? That doesn't seem quite right. I seem to be missing part of this. Maybe this is why I need to look at the examples. Because I'm missing this basic thing. So I did all of this. So they seem to think just loading the resource for the card should be sufficient to show that card. That is not my experience at the moment. They didn't really go into that part of it, but did they say anything about that here? I don't think so. Create a new script that extends card resource. No, layout. Click new. Okay, I did that. Messed around with this. Maybe I'll try this again, but with the abstract unit card resource, and then I'll just make a specific unit card resource for the unit card I want instead of having it be an instantiation of a generic unit card resource. And then maybe that will work. But yeah, I don't have time to do it on stream here. I don't think. I think I just got to figure it out. Figure it out offline. Unless I can figure it out in the next very short period of time. This part is a mystery to me. Reference to the card resource used to initialize the layout. Use it to further customize the layout. Yeah, I think that's my problem, is I think I want to move away from just having a generic unit card layout, and I want that to be abstract, and I want to have specific unit card layouts. They use specific variations of this. Probably an inherit scene, though, or something. No, probably not. Probably not an inherit scene. Yeah, something about this is missing. I'm missing some piece of this, which is preventing me from seeing the card that I want to see. Front layout name, unit. Script, unit card resource. If valid, the layout will be used instead of the default front layout. So there's a validity. The validation here is not occurring. I don't think I need to change this, do I? No, because this is not needed to be. Extend this to fit your card needs. I don't think I need to change this though. But yeah, the validation is not happening, so it's defaulting to the other layout and not rendering my custom layout. Oh well. Honestly, I gotta wrap it up here. But this has been fun. This has been the first episode of working on Party Wipe. My deck builder here. My roguelike deck builder about drafting a party of adventurers. But I'll be back on Tuesday. We'll keep working on this. And this has been fun. I just need to figure out this bug, and then I need to rearrange all of those tile atlases. And by rearrange, I mean create tile atlases. Yeah, this was fun. I'm just going to end it here. Thanks, everyone. See you next week. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.